Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing some water propagations that are ready, well overdue, on repotting or potting up into some soil. I'm going to be doing the Cebu Blue and the String of Hearts here with you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. I have this mason jar that is riddled with algae, you guys, but that doesn't hurt the plant. It still roots very well, but yeah, she needs to be potted into some soil with some nutrients. A lot of these propagations in these vessels, I have a few here, have some new growth already. Some have made it, some have not. I did want to ask you guys, what is your experience with having the Cebu Blue under any grow lights? I feel like mine get yellow and crispy edges and things like that when they're under grow lights. I think it likes bright indirect light. It doesn't like to be under any grow light or any direct light. That's my opinion. Let me know what your experience is with it. The other plant is the String of Hearts, and as you can see, she is well rooted and ready for some soil. And so I'm going to tilt you down so you can see everything that I'm doing here on my table. The Cebu Blue will be potted up in an airy aeroid mix, which is the Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil mixed with Better Grow orchid bark mix, and that has orchid bark, chunky perlite, and charcoal. And I also add some added chunky perlite. Yeah, so that'll be the Cebu Blue. And then the String of Hearts, I'm going to mix the same soil that I used for the Cebu Blue, but I'm going to add some cactus soil in there and mix it, because I find that the String of Hearts likes very airy soil and yeah, well draining, and it doesn't like to sit in too much moisture or it'll rot away. So yeah, I'm gonna tilt you down and we're gonna get started on the Cebu Blue. So here are the 3 jars of Cebu Blue cuttings. I'm going to pick out a nursery pot for them, and I think I want to go with this. We're gonna go with this nursery pot here. It is about a 4-inch pot, and here is my mix. I don't know if you guys can see it, but let's move these out of the way. And I'm going to use this to minimize in, you know, I don't know why I don't use my potting mat. I think I don't use my potting mat because it's so big. I need to buy a smaller potting mat. But yeah, I'm gonna add some orchid bark and chunky perlite to the bottom of this pot so that we don't lose any of the soil through the drainage holes when we water. So, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put in a scoop. I think that's a nice bottom layer. And so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at these cuttings. So starting with the small jar, we have some good cuttings here, well rooted. I don't like this bottom here because it's yellowing, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my snippers and cut them off. We can just toss that. Same with this one, it's yellowing, so we're gonna cut that off. Now this leaf seems to be yellowing, but there's a new growth there, so we're gonna pot that up. But these bottom nodes here, I'm gonna cut off because it's starting to yellow. I am going to leave that last node though. This one's yellowing but has new growth, and this one's rooted like on all the nodes, which is really good. Now in the jar, it looks like some of these have lost leaves, so I'm going to grab some tweezers and pull them out of the water. So I have these tweezers here, and we're going to just pull them out of the water because they have roots, so, and new growth. So if you pot them up, they will grow. And then there's one way on the bottom. It looks like the primary leaf fell off, but they have new growth and roots. So I want to show you that a little bit more up close. See how it has roots and new growth. So if you pot that up, it will grow, as well as this one has roots, and this is the new growth here. And this one, it looks like I broke the one root, but it has roots as well as the new growth. So we will pot that up last. So we'll just leave these on the side and pot them up last. And these pieces we'll just toss. Okay, so that's our first jar. And our second jar, let's go ahead and pull them out. Good roots. I don't see any new growth. Or actually, this is the new growth, but it was growing like down in towards the vessel, but that's okay. We'll pot that up and it'll find its way out of the soil. Roots and new growth. There we go. That has new growth as well. This one has new growth and a nice set of roots. Another cutting, nice set of roots and new growth. And looks like we have another one that is trapped in there. So I'm gonna grab my tweezers again, try to get it. This one might be a little difficult. Maybe if I pour the water out of this other jar. Okay, so we got all the water out and we're going to use the tweezers to pull it out. There we go. And so it has new growth. I broke a root. That's okay. It has new growth there and plenty of roots. We'll pot that up separately. And now the last jar, I'm going to just pull them all out. As you can see, they have a lot of good roots. I think I might want to go up in size in this. The next size that I have is a 5.5 ounce pot. So I think that's what we'll do. Let's set this aside. And I think that one of these black 5.5 inch pots will be good. It's a little deep and wider, but I find that the Cebu Blue, it grows pretty fast. So let's get another tray here. Let's add some of this bark. And what I'll do is I won't pot it in too deep or like all the way up to the top, so it's not sitting in too much soil. I think that's a good amount. Let's sit our cuttings in there, make sure they're all rooted. And that the stems look good and not rotting or anything. See, that stem is yellowing, so we want to cut that off. Same with this one, the stem is yellowing, so we want to cut that off. So these are the cuttings from the other pot. I'll put them in the center here. And sorry, I'm going to pause real quick and I'll be right back. I think my daughter is calling me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and situate these to make sure that they're in the soil. It actually was not my daughter calling me. Thought it was. Well, it could have been, because she has a half day today, so she'll be home soon. So yeah, I'm gonna try to grab all these cuttings towards the center, making sure the roots are down. There's a lot of roots in here, you guys. Trying to make sure all the tiny ones don't get buried. Okay, so I am going to leave a little bit of room so I can put those pieces that don't have any leaves in there. Let's go ahead and start filling in. So now I'm going to bring everything over towards the center and fill in on this side. And so now we're going to make a little room. I'm going to use a small shovel to make some room here. Hopefully this works. We'll take these pieces and put them in. You have to make sure that these roots get covered as well. I'm just going to lay them all in here like this and cover them up with some soil. Like I said before, plants will make their way up and out of the soil. You just want to make sure to cover the roots. So we're going to take this and pour it on top. And they will eventually make their way up and out of the soil. Take out some of these chunky bits from the top there, just so that the new growth on those come out with no problem. All right, you guys, now that she's all potted up, we're gonna go ahead and use the water that she was propagating in and water her in. Am I gonna use this? Yes, I am. So she is all watered in. I'm going to set her aside and we're going to work on the string of hearts. So for the string of hearts, I'm just going to use this cup here, and I'm going to use some cactus soil mixed with a little bit of orchid bark that I have here, or Fox Farm soil. And I'm going to pot it up in this cup. So I'm going to add some of this soil, which is the cactus soil, in here. I'm going to do a little bit more. Hold on, I have to get some more soil. So because my stems are a little bit longer and I kind of have to put it in a little bit further, I'm going to take some of it out on another cup, about half like that. And here is our cuttings. They're well rooted. I'm going to just make sure that any stems that don't look good are cut off. For example, there's one here that's completely yellowed up to the leaf. In fact, the entire strand looks dehydrated, so I'm going to pull that out. This strand here does have like a node bump there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that stem off up to the bump. Then I'm going to cut the leaf off, and we're going to plant it anyways because I think we might still get something out of that. The rest of these stems look okay except for like maybe the tips. So I'm going to cut off some of these tips that don't look good. And by not looking good, I'm talking about they're like clear or mushy looking. But as you can see, they have some nice roots on there. Just going to check the stems. I'm really not worried about these clear stems because they'll just degrade in there and it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure that all the leaves that are close to the growing nodes are off. Just gonna cut off some of these leaves so we're not bearing any leaves. Okay, I don't like to fuss too much with this, so we're gonna go ahead and take the entire bunch and we're gonna set it in there. I still have too much soil, I think. I want to bury it a little deeper, so we're going to take some soil out. I think that's a good level, and then we're just going to fill in all the way up to where the roots are. Tap it a little. I do want to add a little bit more soil in here, so I'm going to grab some more soil. So I have some more Fox Farm soil. We're going to go ahead and top her off. So before I water her, I want to go ahead and cut some slits on the bottom here with my scissors so that she can air out. And it has some drainage holes. And now she's all potted up. We can go ahead and water her. We gave her some drainage holes. So I'm going to go ahead and use the water that she was in and water her in. And then I give her cup a little squeeze and let her continue to drain out. And then I'll sit her in another cup and I'll check her later, and any water that she has on the bottom I'll dump out. But that is her, you guys. She's all done. If you haven't checked out those two previous videos of the Global Green and the Jacinia, go ahead and check it out. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on this video, and I'll check you guys out on my next video. Bye!